Hi friends, in the previous tutorial we discussed theoretical concepts of Python as an object-oriented programming language, where we discussed about objects, classes, inheritance, polymorphism and various other aspects of an object-oriented programming language. In the next few tutorials, we will understand all these concepts through live coding. In this particular lecture, we will understand what is a class in Python, how we instantiate an object from a class, instance variables, and methods. In previous lecture, we understood importance of a class. A class is a collection of objects which enhances interactivity, flexibility, and maintainability of the program. By using a class, you can put a reusable code in a single block of code and use it whenever needed. Let's see how. Suppose you want to create details of employees working in any organization. In this case, let's say 3 employees. What approach you can think of? Any developer not having proper knowledge of OOPS concepts will do something like this, which is the most basic approach. Here we have initialized 5 details of an employee: name, age, salary, state and country. Similarly, you can initialize details for other 2 employees as well. Let's run this piece of code and try to check few values. If I run this piece of code, you can see we have initialized details of employees but using same process, and as the number of employees will rise, these lines of code will also rise and code will become bulky and bulky with each new employee. Don't you think it can be a nice idea to put all the reusable code in a single block and reduce as many number of lines as possible? Agree? Here comes concept of class into picture. Let's see how we can create a class in Python. Here I create a class employee. This is the general syntax of creating a class. Class name followed by syntax class. Let me take this cell above. Let's put pass statement as of now so that it won't throw any error when we access this class. The pass statement is a null operation. We use it when a statement is required syntactically, but you don't want any command or code to execute. Now let me run this code. We missed to put colon at the end of this class. Now let's create details of employee using this class. We will have to create 3 instances of this class, that is objects, as we have considered 3 employees. Here you see we have created 3 objects of class employee. That's how we create an object in Python. Now let's initialize these objects with respective employee details. Let me run this code. Let's do it for first employee. Just replace underscore by dot. We have initialized first object of class employee. We use dot convention to initialize attributes of an object. Let's run this code. and try to check name of first employee. You see the same output. Similarly, you can create other two employees as well. Well, again, do you think this approach of using a class has solved our problem? Do you see any reduction in number of lines in our code? No, right? It is because we have not properly used the concept of class and object till now. Then the question is, how do we do that? So friends, now let's use this class properly and replace the pass statement with a function, init function. Init method inside a class is used to initialize any object of that class with data, or you can say with attributes. If you have knowledge of any other programming language, say Java, then you can consider it as a constructor. When we create a method inside a class, it by default receives instance of that class as an argument. And we say variable self holds that instance. You can replace self by any other variable. It won't throw any error. But yeah, conventionally we use self. It's a good programming practice to use self in place of any other variable. Now you can also pass other required variables as well. Our constructor will have 5 variables in this case. Now within our init method we will initialize these variables. Here you can see that initializing variables inside init method is same as initializing them outside when not using concept of class. Here self.name is equals to emp.name. Now that we have defined class and its init method, let's create instance of this class, that is employee object for 3 employees. Let me run this piece of code and pass attributes as arguments within these braces. Here you can see that we have passed 5 arguments: name, age, salary, state and country for each employee while creating an object which will be used for assigning details for that particular employee. Here, in place of name, you can use any other variable like full name, but it's a good practice to use same variable which is on the right hand side of the assignment operator. Now, let's run this code. Well, we have missed a comma here. Let me delete this cell now. And if you check again for some values, you see we have instantiated new objects using class employee. Also, we have reduced the code to a good extent by having the reusable code in a single block, that is class employee. The variables which are associated to a particular method are called as instance variables. So here these 5 variables are instance variables. These are also called data or attributes of the object. As you know, a class is a collection of data and methods using which we perform some operation on the data. And now you have got the idea of data or attributes. Let's see how we write a method inside a class. Let's say you want to create email ID for each employee using 2 of these attributes, say age and country, which will have some format like age of employee underscore country name followed by @company name. Without using class and method, you can do it like this. Here we have created email ID using string concatenation, and because this emp1.age will be an integer, so we have converted it into a string. Now let me run this piece of code. So here you see that we have created an email ID for employee 1 using 2 attributes, age and country. But if you want to create a method to make this code reusable, you can create a function inside employee class like this. This method will accept argument self by default. Let's put this code here. Now you know that self variable holds details of the object, and self.age and self.country will automatically fetch relevant details of all objects. Let's replace emp1 by self. Now let's remove this print statement and replace it with the return statement. Now let me run this code. Now if you call this function using its object and try to see what this method returns, here you can see that it has created email ID for first instance emp1 using format age_country followed by @company.com. You can see that we call this function using braces. If we remove the braces, it will return method object, not the desired response. You can also call this method using class name as well, but in that case you will have to pass object instance like this. If we run this code, we get same result. Well friends, that's it for this tutorial. Hope you must have got some idea of classes, objects, instance variables and role of self function while using a class in Python. Many developers get confused in self function as they are not fully aware about its uses. In the next tutorial, we will understand Python class variables. Thanks for watching the tutorial. If you have any questions or comments, please let us know down in the comment section. If you think this tutorial has enhanced your knowledge of Python class and objects, then please like the tutorial and share it with your friends. If you want to follow this series on Python OOPS concepts, then please subscribe the channel and hit the bell icon.